Ken will continue his hero's journey as he once again recounts the lessons of do-it-yourself cooking. Last week he presented his baking croissants story. This week he rebakes those croissants.
Yes, croissants. Those French breads, the brown, flaky, crunchy outside, and that soft, buttery dough inside. Now you can get really good ones in bakeries and even in Whole Foods. But I was eating one time, and I got the idea, Ken, you can bake this type of thing yourself. Even though I had never baked anything like it before. Have you ever gotten a do-it-yourself idea like that? Yeah, you know what I mean. Where you haven't ever done it, but you said, I can do a thing like that. Well, I got that do-it-yourself idea to cook croissants. Knowing I'd never cooked anything like that before, I took a class in French baking, a 4-week class, 1 hour a week, with a typical French cook. Middle-aged woman with a kind of blonde bob, that shoulderless apron, white apron, and the French accent, very efficient. And she told us, roll the dough, bang the dough, cut the butter, knead it. You know the type of person. Each week, we learn a different part of how to make croissants. Over 4 weeks, we learn how to knead the dough, as I said, cut the butter, put the butter in, pound the dough down, let it rise. But we never actually baked croissants in those 4 weeks. That was our homework. So at the end of the 4 weeks, I went home with the recipe she gave us, remembering that she said, now class, it takes 8 hours to do this right. So I set aside all Saturday. Friday night before, I went out and bought the ingredients from the recipe. Saturday morning, I started. I put all the flour together, all the water, got my butter out, look at this mass of dough, and then realized that the recipe was for the 12 people in the class, and we were supposed to cut it by 1/12. So now I was on course to cook or bake 12 times 4 croissants, 48 croissants. No problem, that was what I had in mind anyway, bake. So I started 8 in the morning, kneading the dough, pounding it down, putting the butter, letting it rise, sitting around for an hour, kneading the dough, pounding it, letting it rise for an hour. This went on all day, till finally about 3 o'clock, it was time to put these beautiful crescent-shaped creations in the oven and make my croissants. I waited an hour, took out my creations, and some of them were indeed beautiful brown croissants. Some of them didn't quite make the curve to be a crescent, and they were beautiful brown logs. Oh well. Some of them seemed to have a mind of their own, and they were beautiful brown blobs. But I had 48 of these creations, and the smell of cooking bread, the butter scent filled the place, the warmth that was given off. It was so compelling that my neighbor Nina, some of you may remember her, German, dark, black hair, a little plump, what she liked to eat, rang my bell and said, Ken, you must be cooking something good. It smells great. Come on in, Nina. We have 48 croissants to devour. Nina came in, opened a bottle of wine. As she took a sip, she looked around and saw flour everywhere in the kitchen. Pots and pans piled in the sink. butter melted on the countertop, and these 48 creations. She didn't say anything. We just had our wine, and slowly started to work. She ate one. I ate one. She ate one. I had one. She ate one. I had one. Glass of wine. She had one. I had one. After an hour, we got to 12. Nina looked at the 36 croissants left, scanned the kitchen, and then said something to me that was profound and deep that I never forgot. As she looked around, she said, Ken, the next time you want to have croissants, just go to the bakery and buy one for you and buy one for me. Leave the baking for the bakers. Now you might be thinking, what's so profound about that, right? But think about it. It's the same idea. If you want to go for a drive in your nice new car, leave the repairs to the mechanic. Enjoy the drive. If you want to wear nice, clean, well-pressed clothes, leave the laundry and the ironing to the cleaners. Last week, there was an MBA graduate here, and he even told us what's that called. What is that called when you leave the baking to the bakers? The repairs to the mechanics? The
Outsourcing.
Outsourcing. Nina was telling me, outsource. Now I know some of you are do-it-yourselfers and you're thinking, I like to cook. I like to fix my cook. Well, if you want to spend 8 hours on a Saturday kneading, pounding, cutting, making a mess of your place, you're okay to do that. But if you leave the baking to the bakers, you can spend time with Nina in a nice clean place without having to stuff yourself with croissants. You can go for a ride without having to worry about the car. You wear nice clothes. Outsourcing. You have the time to do the things that you enjoy, but you can't outsource. Like telling stories about croissants. Thank you.